As a single professional, I had debt and no savings after my divorce. I always wonder how I can start investing in real estate to secure my future. I studied programs that gave me all the benefits of investing in real estate. Some claim I could start with no money, but I could not find one that gave me the practical, actionable steps I needed. As a wealth advisor, I've met people that own real estate but weren't ahead financially. They were rich, but they weren't wealthy. Then I finally realized that there was one vital component missing that makes someone become wealthy or not. And on this show, I will reveal what I found and give you the step-by-step actions to start investing in real estate and increase your wealth. My name is Araceli. Let's get started. Welcome everyone. This is Araceli, Transition Wealth Advisor and Real Estate Investor in the US and Canada. And today I actually connected with this special lady, Karen, a month ago. And the reason that we connected is because we are both interested in financial literacy. So Karen, can you tell us what you do and why you do it?
Yes, I will. Yeah. So again, welcome everybody. So glad to be here. And yeah, so I was in the traditional investment for 25 years. And when I was during that time, two things happened. One is that I saw so many women coming through our doors who were overwhelmed. They're going through a life change, whether it's a divorce, death in the family, or getting an inheritance. And they're all very embarrassed not knowing what to do. And it really tugged on my heartstrings. And the other thing that also happened to me is the last 11 years of my career, I oversaw all the fixed income assets for my company. And so what was happening is really when interest rates were getting, rock bottom where, we were actually paying the government to buy bonds. And it just really got to a level where it really hurt my heart to think if people are putting all their money into these instruments, you're literally paying to have somebody save money. And I actually, full disclosure, knew nothing about real estate. In fact, I did know one thing about real estate. I've actually not shared this publicly, but this will be the first place I share it, is I had invested in a business. It was a publishing business, and it was called Vivo Publications. And what we did is we highlighted different things you can do in real estate. It's kind of like, this is way before, they had the home shows, right? So our magazine basically did what, Home Shopping Network did on paper. But the problem is we were flourishing, we were doing great. And then 2008 happened, and we know how that story in the real estate industry goes. Our magazine was called Building.com or Building Magazine, and iPhones did not even exist then. And then, and at that point, I kind of made an internal vow: I will never have anything to do with real estate again. I'm done, and I just shut it down as a possibility. And the company that I was working for those 11 years, they weren't interested in any kind of alternative assets. So it wasn't even something that really came into my path, really. And at that point, it wasn't something I actively scoffed at or anything. I just I closed it off and didn't have to deal with it. So fast forward to 2019 when I left. And I was looking for a different way to generate income. And so a friend of mine, I gotta say this out loud. It was my fiance. I just realized he's the one who told me about multifamily real estate. That is so cool.
Amazing.
Okay. That is so cool. Wow. Okay. I'll catch myself here. But anyway, so he's a friend of mine. He's like, hey, I have this alternative way to make income. You should learn about it. You should take classes. And that's actually what I did. And so we started this company, East Light Investments, together. And that's what I did. And so the last 3 years, I really learned about it. I started investing. But in that process, I've been, did lots of shows like what we're doing here. And I was telling people about real estate, and this whole financial literacy or lack thereof became a big theme. Mm-hmm. And so I also started a second company called Financial Literacy for Her, because one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to let women know about all the possibility sets of the investing, because real estate is one, investing in other companies is one, and they're traditional assets. There's nothing wrong with those. Those have a place in your portfolio too. And so one of my a piece of my heart is just say, let me educate you on the possibility sets and tell you the pros and the cons, look at your situation and say, what is the right combination of assets for your portfolio? So that's that's kind of my story.
Wow, that's amazing. First of all, let me congratulate you because I know that you just got engaged to your best
Oh my
friend.
gosh, yes, thank
That
you.
is
And I can't wait to
amazing.
tell them that.
That's a story on itself, so that's amazing. But one thing that I wanted to point out to the audience is that Karen started as doing financial literacy for women, and then she started actually understanding the benefits of being into real estate, because we all need to generate more income, and that is one way. It's not the only way, but it's one way. And it sort of has the same story than mine, because I was working and I never really thought about real estate until later on in my life when I got divorced and I saw
Mm-hmm.
all of those things that you've seen with women, that you're ashamed that you didn't do the correct things and that you didn't know what to do. And at that point in my life, it made a big difference to start learning more, to be financially literate. That's the most important thing.
It is.
Because I don't know what you have seen, Karen, but I have seen as an advisor, many women, especially more than men, that they are very afraid of investing their money. They don't know where to go. They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually more afraid to make a mistake than do anything.
Absolutely.
So
They're frozen in fear. Frozen in fear.
Absolutely. So what would be your recommendation for people? Because I've seen the change that you've made and you have incredible success with your real estate investing. So what would you say to women that they're all of a sudden going through a transition and that they want to maybe dabble into real estate? What's your advice?
Yeah, there's a couple things, and I've got a fresh story for one of them. Is that what I marveled by, especially because I came from traditional investment world, which is very much a man's world, and real estate has been, but it's increased. It's one of the fastest growing areas of the financial services, investing, asset, whatever, how you want to classify it. Women are growing faster and faster. It's a place for us, and people aren't pushing us aside. They take us seriously, which part of it is having to believe in yourself. But I want to let you know, ladies, if you haven't gone out there, it is an open forum for us. It's a welcome place. And I know lots and lots of places you can go to get support. And in fact, the podcast I was on where my financial literacy for her was born was actually on a podcast with my largest real estate support group. So I was in an accountability group that we met once a week. We gave each other goals. We were there to support each other. And my partner for financial literacy for her, I actually met her in my real estate group. So now I have 2 income generation possibilities. And another thing that it was actually my fiance and I were looking at one of our properties this weekend, and what he does is the operation management side. So he really understands that. And I was listening and talked to the maintenance man a little bit. And he said, and this is the first time he had talked to them, and he pointed something out and he said, one of the good things is, it's like, what do you have to think about is when you're leasing out in a part, whether it's a single family apartment or many, the same rule goes. He's like, you've got to think about the female buyer. You've got to think like a woman, and they're just like these little nuancy things that I would have never pointed out. And I said on my car ride home this week, it was this week, and I said, this is why women they are being rewarded for what comes naturally to them. Not only that, what they take for granted. So one of the messages I would say to anybody listening is, when you believe that you get rewarded for being you, that's really where success pays off. And there's so many aspects of real estate that comes so naturally to us. And literally, I'm not kidding you. When you walk into a place, women's intuition, we're going to always beat the men every day of the week because they don't have that. They're going to do dollars and cents and check the box. There's a place for that. That's a good way to, and that's why there's some balance in it. But that gut instinct that women have makes us the secret weapon to real estate.
Absolutely, I agree with you. There's another thing that I always tell women as well, is that now that we are living longer, it's proven by statistics that women outlive men. And guess what? You are going to be in charge of the finances when your partner is not there. So may as well start now. More and more women are starting to control the majority of the wealth in the family for whatever reason, whether their partner is busy or passed on or
Yep.
it's incapacitated and so on. So that's why I really love what you do to encourage women, because that's what I do myself as well, to encourage women to take advantage of it and start as soon as you can. Don't wait until something happens and now you have to take the whole thing on.
Exactly. I agree 100%, because crisis isn't the time to learn anything.
Of course. Yeah.
Give yourself the space to properly grieve by doing yourself the favor of getting your financial ducks in a row now. And that goes with estate planning, that goes with, your wills and all that goes, that the whole kit and caboodle is something that's really, really important. Do that now when you're fresh or clean. You can think about it without all the emotions that come with, whether it's a death or a life change.
Yeah, absolutely. So Karen, tell me, so how did you started in real estate? What was your first transaction and what moved you into doing today?
Well, I've been very fortunate because I lived in Boston for 17 years of my life. And so just in my own homes, I did very, very well in, buying low and selling high. It wasn't by design then, but the benefit of it was I've been a serial entrepreneur my entire life. That's been part of who I am. So I've always been able to use that equity to grow my side businesses. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wow, this is a really, really good thing, and, I sidestepped a little bit because of the story I showed you about that magazine. But then when I got back into it, I started back in single family and I just I actually did one on the single family because again, that's when I was introduced to the apartment building side of it. But the great part about it was like the one successful, the big successful sale that I did before I got into multifamily was a positive experience. So it kind of negated that whole negative thing that I had. And, because we make vows to ourselves. We say things like, I don't want to make money, because somebody hurt us usually. And we're like, if making money is going to make me like them, I choose to not have money. And that's a real big thing. And so that was kind of what I had to get over myself. But then after that, then I started looking at the multiplication effect. And, you and I have talked offline about the benefits of, the masterful plan of starting with a duplex. Uh-huh. That's a really, really good way to start in the business. You automatically have it placed and have them pay your mortgage, whether you're on the other half or it's a double income. And a lot of times what will happen is you'll use that money if you are on one side of the duplex, that you'll then upgrade to another one, and that becomes a full rental property. Yeah. And I know that's a strategy that you like to share with your ladies, and I cannot agree with it more because that was very close to what my story looked like.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing because the thing is, if somebody does not have a place to live yet, the very first goal, in my opinion, is to have somewhere that you can live and that is also paying you. That's how I got myself started. And I think that's the best way, the easiest way to get in the market and to also see if that is for you. Because I believe that real estate investors, they need to have certain skills and certain type of character that not everybody is willing to do the things that real estate investors are willing to do. So it gives you the ability to say or to decide if this is for you or not. And then without a lot of risk, you still have a place to live. You can turn around and sell it for a profit and still somebody else would buy that property.
You have options. That's a place where you have the options because it isn't for everybody. But then you can have the passive income if you don't want to be an active investor. Or again, you can just use it as a pathway to get the capital to get back on your feet.
Absolutely. So there's so many options with real estate, and that's what I love doing it. And that's what I created my platform, so people can come and learn the actual real practical steps to get going, because there's so many things out there that they tell you do this, but they really don't have enough practical application. And I believe that real estate is it's a contact sport. You need to be doing it in order to learn. Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%. And I can't emphasize enough, there are lots of groups out there, because most people, what they do is they get a coach or a program, just like what we're doing here. And then you get support groups to supplement that. You'll get, we all say, get your tribe. It's really get your tribe in this business. I've never been in a situation from a business perspective to see how much our industry supports itself. It's almost like it's gotten this bad rap that it's a man world and they're like fighting each other. Real estate, yeah, there's that there, but welcome to the human race. You can have that in any business, but I've been the cooperative. You go to a conference and you're like, I need this, and they're like, here are my 3 friends that can help you with that piece, and here's my 3 friends, and it's a tight knit family. It really is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So. And that is where it's a very versatile business. If you want to do it with your partner, with friends, by yourself, I would recommend you do it with someone. It's more fun, but it's up to you, and it can still be done by one person, and most importantly, by women. And if for all the audience out there, if you're a woman and you haven't considered real estate investing as an alternative way to make money, whether it's passive or maybe doing flips to generate some large, chunks of money, that would be an ideal way to get started. More and more women are taking charge not only of their finances, but also their investing criteria. And a lot of them are going into real estate. So tell me, Karen, if somebody wants to contact you, whether it's for your financial literacy webpage or your courses or for real estate investing, how do they contact you?
Yeah, the easiest way is I'll give you my financial literacy for her contacts, because reach me through that and all the other areas that I'm interested in, that I deal with. You can reach me that way. So financial literacy for her is the name of the company. Fin, like financial fin, literacyforher.com is the email. Feel free to reach out to me, Karen at finliteracyforher.com. I'm a very hands-on person. Approach me. No question's a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask.
That's absolutely true.
So feel free. I've had an opportunity to have an incredible mentors in my life, and if there's any questions you have, feel free to reach out to me. I also have a book called Mind of Gold: A Girlfriend's Guide to Financial Freedom, and in that we talk about real estate as well. We also talk about a lot of the mindset issues that make us feel that we don't deserve to be there. So that helps you overcome those money blocks to say, I do belong at the table, and I'm ready to go build my empire.
That's amazing. So that's great. I think that everything starts with knowing your finances. I always encourage people to know their finances, because that's where everything starts. My say is always, everything touches money. No matter what you do, whether it's the cup of coffee that you buy, the car, or the real estate that you buy, it always will be touched by money. So the more you know about how to manage it, the more it will come to you. I think that's just a belief that I have, and I always constantly look for ways to make better use of the money, so the money works for you instead of you working for your money.
Well, it's really interesting just to say that. I saw this image of a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
And because money's a tool, we hear that a lot, but it's like, what does that mean? It's a tool. And it's like, well, any kind of tool you have, you need to learn how to use it, right? So you have a Swiss Army knife. If you think of that as your your financial life, is like all those little different, little tools on it are going to get you to where you want to go. The bottle opener is not going to help you, whittle a wood, and all the different things. And so, once you get to know how to use the tools, you can really get them to work for you.
Absolutely. But also, if you don't know how to use them correctly, you can get cut. So
absolutely. All right. Yeah, the great way to wrap up that metaphor. Perfect. Yes.
So that's exactly why I encourage everybody to start with your financial literacy. Know your money, manage your money, and your money will reward you every single time. And now you have another resource to look at in Karen, because she already has that website for doing financial coaching. And if you feel that you're stuck, I would encourage you to visit Karen's website. I'm going to put everything in the comments below, so you don't have to remember anything. Everything will be there.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah. So, and I'm happy to help. I'm a call away, and I do free consultations. So
yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. And just giving us another example of a beautiful lady going through all of the steps to get to become a real estate investor. So thank you, Karen, for being here.
You're welcome, and thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for being here on the show. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when there are more shows available. And if you would like to have more information on how to start investing in real estate, please visit my website at www.aracelyhernandez.com. Thank you.